I want to bring a Knesset member into this conversation, and this may be unusual in U.S. television, to be joined by the leading Palestinian human rights lawyer in Gaza, Raji Sourani, and to also bring in Ofer Cassif, a member of the Israeli Knesset. Ofer, as you listen to Raji speak from Gaza, and before that, Orly Noy, the board chair of B'Tselem, the human rights organization, Ofer Cassif is a member of the Knesset with the Hadash-Ta'al coalition. You were born in Rishon LeZion, which was hit by rocket fire, Hamas rocket fire on Saturday. Can you respond to what's happening right now and the decision of the Prime Minister of Israel and the cabinet to declare war on Hamas?
Thank you for hosting me, and I would like to express my gratitude for the former speakers. Orly Noy was a very good friend of mine, and Raji, and I wish you, Raji, and all of you security, peace, and health, of course. First of all, allow me to begin with some personal, statements. My family lives in Israel. I'm at the moment in Mexico before this war began in a conference, in an international conference of leftist parties, including a delegation from Palestine. And we also had a press conference together, the Palestinian delegation and myself, because we share the ideas against the occupation and against war. I must say that unfortunately 2 days ago, I got a WhatsApp message from a very good friend of mine who was hiding with her husband in the kibbutz. And she told me she was very afraid and she could hear the Hamas fighters outside. Unfortunately, those were probably the last words she ever wrote, because she was murdered with her husband just after she sent me that message. A very good friend of mine who was also against the occupation, a voter of our party. What I'm trying to say is that innocent people, innocent civilians of both sides, Israelis and Palestinians, pay the price of the arrogant, criminal, ongoing occupation that Israel refuses to end. And I want to say something very, very clear and very, very blunt. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can justify or legitimize the carnage that Hamas carried out in the towns and kibbutzim and the villages in the southern of Israel. Nothing can justify it. It is appalling. And even the occupation crimes, the crimes that Israel is guilty of, crimes of occupation, apartheid, ethnic cleansing, since the Nakba, those either cannot justify such a carnage. At the same time, nothing and absolutely nothing can justify the massacre that Israel carries out now in Gaza, not even the crimes of Hamas. So what I would like to say in the bottom line, that following what Orly and Raji said, and I totally agree with them, the Palestinians deserve the rights. They deserve the national and individual rights. They deserve the rights to be realized, the right of self-determination, to enjoy their own independent sovereign state, their own government, the freedom of movement. They deserve to feel to live in peace and security without the daily pogroms by fascist settlers under the auspices of the occupation forces and the encouragement of this fascist government of Ben-Gvir and Netanyahu. The Israelis deserve peace and security. They deserve to live in a state which doesn't occupy, which doesn't oppress. A state whose government is not a fascist and racist one. And I would like to conclude, if I may, by taking the whole issue into and explaining it within a political frame. Israel wanted this violence. In 2017, Smotrich was then a member of the Knesset, but at the moment, unfortunately, this racist thug is a minister of finance, but as well minister within the defense ministry. He published 6 years ago, and it is explicit. You can read it, and you can Google and read it. It was entitled The Subjugation Plan, which boils down to 3. First, the Palestinian occupied territories should be annexed to Israel as a whole without granting basic rights to the Palestinians. Second, those Palestinians who do not agree to live under this subjugation are going to be expelled from their homeland. And third, those Palestinians who are going to resist are going to be killed. What we see now, and the coup, by the way, that the government of Israel has been carrying out within Israel, all of those are means to that goal. The goal is to realize this horrific, racist, colonialist, fascist plan of Smotrich's. And the attack on Gaza is part of it. They use the terrible, horrifying, unacceptable carnage in the southern of Israel as an excuse to attack Gaza as part of the realization of this fascist subjugation plan. And we should stand together, join forces, all peace lovers, Palestinians and Israelis, Arabs, Jews, and the international community must stand together and join forces to say to Israel, you are going to end the occupation now. You are going to end the occupation. The Palestinians must be liberated. The liberation of the Palestinian people is a just cause. It will also liberate the Israelis from the occupation. Because although of course, the Palestinians are the victims primarily, but the Israelis are victims of the occupation as well, as we just saw 2 days ago. So we must put the pressure on the government to end it. It's up to the international community. It's up to us to act together and against all violence in Gaza, in West Bank, and in Israel.